Hello, everybody. Welcome to your mini lesson on discovering and shifting your limiting beliefs. And I believe this is one of the most important topics that we can spend our time on when it comes to co-creating what we desire in all areas of our life. So let's just start with why. I pretty much just said why, but to go in a little bit deeper, the beliefs we hold, whether we are conscious or aware of them or not, are causing us to think, feel, and behave in certain ways, oftentimes in ways that we really don't want to. It also causes us, our beliefs, to take actions or not. And lastly, it impacts what we attract or allow into our lives in all life areas, whether it's self-love, health, relationships, career, purpose, money, and hobbies and passions, and spirituality. So it can impact every single one of those areas. So where do our beliefs come from? So a lot of our beliefs come from what we saw or heard growing up, whether it was your parents, siblings, grandparents, maybe kids at school, culture, society, and media. They also come from our experiences so far in this lifetime and experiences from past lives, whether we are aware of those past lives or even believe in past lives or not. And then they also get passed down in our DNA from our ancestors. Okay. So it's important that in order to shift a belief, it's important that we discover what the beliefs are. And there's really two main ways to do that. One of those is to look at your past. So could you go get a past life reading? Sure, but it's not always necessary. So let's just start with our past in this lifetime. And I know a lot of us, myself included, don't remember a lot of my childhood or didn't. And as I've gotten older, I remember more and more. As I'm capable, my higher self thinks I'm capable of handling these memories now. So just pick a life area where you're struggling in right now. So maybe it's money. And I'm going to go through some examples in a little bit, but look at what did you hear and see growing up around money? So see if you can take some time to write and reflect on that. Then you want to look at what is your current reality. I'm guessing you picked money because you currently have a money breakdown. So, and again, if you want to do this for relationships, if you're having relationship issues, if you're having career issues, what did you see and hear growing up related to what you could do for work and make money and your current reality? So again, look at your past and then look at your current reality. And I'm going to go through a few examples right now to make this even more clear. So let's look at the area of self-love. So maybe in the past, if you look back at your childhood, you remember that you were maybe criticized a lot, corrected or criticized a lot by one or both of your parents. Maybe it happened with kids at school. Maybe you were teased, felt left out. And because of this, you likely have the belief that I'm not good enough, right? I'm not lovable or I'm not good enough. And then if you look at your current situation, maybe you struggle with depression. Maybe you tend to attract people who continue to criticize you or tease you, make you feel bad about yourself. Maybe you're in a job that you don't really enjoy. Maybe you know you deserve a raise, but you don't ask for one. Maybe you have these amazing ideas and gifts to share, but because you think you're not good enough, you have trouble putting them out there in the world. So that's just one example. Let's do another example, money. As I kind of brought that up before. So let's say in the past, you heard your parents argue about money, fight about money, have conflict about money. Maybe you also heard them say, I've never have enough, or we can never get ahead. Therefore, you likely hold a belief that I'll never have enough money, or money causes conflict. So currently, what that would look like then, if you held that belief, is you don't have enough money, or you barely have enough. You can never get ahead. Maybe you live paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you have issues looking at your own money numbers. Or if you're with a partner, maybe you fight about money, or maybe you do the opposite. You're afraid of conflict with money. So maybe it's that elephant in the room and you just don't bring it up. And then one last example, let's use relationships. That's another really common one where people struggle. So maybe in the past, you were abused growing up, and it could have been verbal, physical, sexual abuse. Maybe it was emotional neglect. But because of that, you have this belief that I don't deserve love or support, or maybe love equals pain and abuse. And so what that would look like in your current reality, possibly, is maybe you isolate so that you keep people at a distance so they won't abuse you. Maybe you get into relationships, or maybe you get into relationships with people that continue to abuse you or neglect you in the same ways that you experienced growing up. Okay. So take a minute, you can even pause this if you'd like, and take a minute to explore one of the life areas. So again, it could be self-love, it could be, which we know impacts all the life areas. Self-love, maybe it's relationships, money, career, maybe passions or hobbies, spirituality. So take a minute and explore past, and then what is the current reality? And then what belief do you think you hold? What limiting belief do you think you hold? I'm sure we have lots of good beliefs too, but we don't want to change the good ones. We want to change the limiting ones, or fear-based ones is another way to say it. And then what you're going to do once you've done that is we're going to move into how do you shift them? How do you begin or continue to shift these limiting beliefs? So as I talked about, discovering them is key. We can't really change anything that we're not aware of. So first you want to discover what the limiting belief or beliefs are. The one that's maybe impacting you the most right now, where you have the most breakdown. Because I guarantee, like myself, you probably have lots of limiting beliefs. So let's just pick one to start with, the one that's causing you the most pain right now. And then after you write down what that limiting belief or fear is, the next step is to write down what would be an opposite truth. So an opposite truth to the I'm not good enough might be I'm always good enough, or I'm good enough just as I am. In parentheses, regardless of what other people say about me, right? Or what they did to me in the past. Another opposite truth might be I will always have more than enough money. That's the opposite to I'll never have enough. Or if money causes conflict, an opposite truth might be I'm capable of handling conflict now, or learning how to handle money conflict now. And I think the last example we used, relationship, was I don't deserve love and support. And the truth that you might want to plant now is I deserve exponential love and support. I deserve love and support from others. So finding that opposite truth that you want to plant now. Okay, so write that down. And then you want to find a tool or tools to use to shift those limiting beliefs. For some people, I get asked this all the time, is it enough that I just know what the limiting belief is and to know what the truth is? For some people, maybe, but for most of us, this limiting belief has been running in our brain, in our minds. It's been so programmed in there from a very young age for most of us. And again, maybe from past lives, our ancestors, that we usually need a tool or several tools. So some of the tools that I recommend and I teach are what I call write and repeat. Another word for that is journaling, but you write down the truth over and over. And I usually recommend to do it first thing in the morning, and not just write it, but say it to yourself. So write it, say it, close your eyes even, and visualize it as if it is true right now, and feel it in your body. Another tool is the guided therapeutic meditation practices. Those of you in my free community have a sample practice of that to try. Another tool, which I say works on a more conscious level, because the guided meditation practice you can fall asleep to and you don't have to hear a word. And it helps to reprogram that limiting belief and plant the seed for what's true. And it does lots of other things too. But we have kind of a new tool called the self-healing process. And we are more consciously going back to a memory, right, of when that limiting belief was created, and then planting the seed of truth from a unconditionally loving parent standpoint, you being that unconditional loving parent to yourself. So that's another tool that you guys have a sample practice that you can, those in the free community. And those of you, of course, in my paid programs have lots of tools, right? Lots of guided meditations, lots of self-healing processes for each life area, for each key, each life area. And then a new tool that I just created literally like 2 weeks ago, and I'm giving you guys access to, is what I'm calling a truth loop or truths loop. And so it just keeps on, you keep listening to it, or you listen to it once, twice, 3 times a day, maybe whenever you're feeling bad or in a funk, and it's telling you all those truths over and over and over again that are related to a certain life area. And I'm giving you guys access to one that I created for myself that is actually encompassing several life areas. So you can try that out as well. All right. And, another question I get is, do I need to do this daily? Yeah. Think about, I'm just thinking for myself, I was criticized pretty much daily. So it would make sense that I need to reprogram, right, and plant the seed for what's true now on a daily basis. And do you have to use every single one of those tools on a daily basis? No, but if you do, you're going to make that shift and create that new truth pattern, which is going to start impacting what you attract and your actions and behaviors every day and how you feel every day, even quicker. It's going to heal that and shift that even quicker. All right, so you've got some tools and information to start with. And then I would love to invite you to join me to continue on a deeper level, to shift these limiting beliefs and plant the seeds of truth. And there's a couple ways you can do that. We've got the Connect with the Divine You program, and we've got the year-long program, which encompasses all life areas, all 10 keys, the Vibrant Body and Abundant Life Journey program. And you can also just pick one key to start with, or one life area, and go and start with that audio program or live program, depending on what month it is in that you're listening to this. All right. Feel free to share this video, to share this information with other people in your life that you know could benefit. And pretty much everyone on the planet right now, we're being called to do this deeper inner work. Remember not to beat yourself up for where you are now. It's really important that we practice compassion with ourselves and where we are on our journey. And remember that you're exactly where you're meant to be right now. So please leave judgment and self-criticism at the door. It does nobody any good. It's a waste of time. And instead, spend the time on using some of these tools and doing some of this deeper inner work. All right. Hope to see you soon. Bye.